at each other's throats. They throw punches during the day, stab each other in the morning, and even try to strangle each other in their dreams. Big brother Li Xiang looks polished on the outside as a comfy peak, but every night he has nightmares. He's worried his party animal little brother will seize power. Helpless, all he can do is try to impress Dad. At dinner, he has to report to Dad about the company acquisition. Suddenly, a loud noise interrupts their conversation. It's little brother Taken just getting back from a night of drinking. Facing Dad's anger, Taken says with a grin, "Nothing beats sleeping at home." Facing his fuming father, Li Xiang lies through his teeth to comfort him. He's still young. When the time comes, he'll grow up. Dad looks at this guy who's a mess from head to toe and roars. He's 30 years old and still young. Because of him, I'm old and still have to work. Thank goodness I have you, Shang, or I'd never catch a break. Li Xiang smiles, stands up, says he has a meeting and leaves. Taken stares at his brother's handsome, upright figure, can't even blink. After watching his brother leave, he sits right in his spot and happily eats his brother's leftovers. On his way to work, Li Xiang thinks he's overthinking it. What can a guy who only eats, drinks, and party do? He can't help but smile. His coworkers ask if the boss has some good news. Xiang suppresses his excitement and just says everything at the company is going well, so he's in a good mood. But when he gets home from work, he receives terrible news. Taken is coming to work at the company. The CEO's wife is thrilled. This is wonderful. My son is finally growing up. Dad also says he'll put Taken under Li Xiang, so he can turn his precious son into someone useful. Li Xiang is churning inside but can only smile. As long as Taken is determined, he can definitely do well, right Taken? Little brother looks at big brother's handsome face and shows a meaningful smile. Back in his room, Li Xing doesn't even think about it and smashes an antique vase. That old fool trained his second character, and now dumps him on me to educate. As his brother, I need to teach him that the world isn't as simple as he thinks. After seeing his brother, Taken hides alone in his room, hugging his brother's clothes, thinking of his brother's handsome face, smelling his brother's scent. Big brother has nightmares every night. Little brother plays games. Little brother plays games every morning and wakes big brother up. This harmonious brotherly relationship troubles big brother. He worries little brother will grow up and seize power, but also really likes how little brother wakes him up. News that Taken is coming to work at the company spreads like wildfire. Employees gossip. I heard he's just a punk. The company's future is really worrying. You can tell just by looking at that flashy hat. Suddenly a pleasant voice from behind. That's a nice photo, right? My photographer friend took it. Besides this one, I actually like the next one better. Make sure to check it out. He waves his hand and leaves with a flourish, leaving two employees stunned. Li Xiang is not in a good mood. When little brother finally shows up late, he has to introduce him to everyone. This is the newly appointed executive Li Tae. Immediate pause. Taken confidently and calmly finishes his self-introduction. When alone with his brother, he immediately looks lazy and keeps throwing flirty glances at his brother. Do you notice anything different about me today? I changed up my look a bit. Li Xiang coldly compliments him. It suits you. Why didn't you change sooner? I thought you liked it, but guess not. As he speaks, he pinches Li Xiang's butt and then runs away. Li Xiang is furious but thinks a guy with this kind of behavior can accomplish much. He never expected his immature little brother to come out swinging and come up with a great idea for the company, and even invite a famous photographer they couldn't get before, pushing company sales to new heights. Because of this, the company's one-sided situation has changed. People start whispering looks like the heir situation might change. Even the old man goes around bragging about how excellent his son is. Frustrated, Li Xiang is drowning his sorrows when there's a knock on the door. The man himself shows up after invited with bad intention. Seeing his brother so Taken says with a mocking tone, "Were you thinking about me?" Li Xiang is overwhelmed. "Why are you here so late?" Taken grabs a bottle of wine with a smile and says, "I figured you'd be sad, so I came to comfort you. It's just one lucky break, don't get too cocky." 不谈一些吧. Taken scoffs. Is it luck, or does thinking that just make you feel better? Feel better. Next second, he pours an entire bottle of red wine over Li Xiang's head. Since childhood, the boy wasn't interested in anything. Only when he saw his brother would his heart race, feeling he had to have him. He thought it and did it, but his brother is a thorny wild rose. He can't get him without using extreme measures.
Can't get him.
He decides to start with what his brother wants most. So the usually idle guy volunteers to go work at the company. Right after starting, he sets a new company record. Knowing his brother will be depressed, he waits for a dark night and enters his brother's room. Knowing as he mock and provoke his brother with words, he pours an entire bottle of red wine over his brother's head. He wants to make his brother angry. Li Xiang furiously grabs his collar, his fist about to come down. Taken isn't scared at all. He's extremely excited. "Come on, hit me. Come on, beat me up." After careful restrains himself and lowers his hand, almost biting through his own lip. In the end, he just silently turns to pick up the bottle from the floor. Taken is a bit disappointed. He thought he'd finally have some fun. He wants to see just how far his brother can endure. Just thinking about it is fun, so he grabs him for a kiss. But Li Xiang doesn't hold back and bites down hard. Didn't get what he wanted and now he's bleeding. Taken doesn't hold back here and directly threatens Li Xiang. "If Dad finds out what you've done to me, you know exactly what will happen. Compared to me, you're the one who'll suffer and get punished in the end, just like it's always been." When they were Taken would secretly follow Li Xiang when he went out to play. If he got hurt and came back, Li Xiang was always the one who got scolded. "So, what are you waiting for? Come on and please me until I'm satisfied. On such a beautiful night, I'm sure you'll do great." Since child, the boy has been drawn to his brother's scent. For years, his restless heart had been sustained by his brother's shirts. With such a perfect opportunity to manipulate his brother, he won't let it end easily. Years ago, Li Xiang, who grew up in an orphanage, was chosen by a CEO. After years of not conceiving, they adopted Li Xiang and soon had a son. The CEO's wife wanted to kick Li Xiang out after using him, but afraid of the scandal and not short on cash, she decided to keep him as competition for her own son to create a sense of urgency. Little Li Xiang, standing outside the door, heard their whole conversation. Already smart and studious, he worked even harder to prove himself. When little Tagan reached out to be friends and invited him to play, little Li Xiang coldly ignored him. Little Tagan pouted angrily and said, "If you don't play with me, I'll tell Mom." What he got was his brother's cold, piercing look. That was when little Tagan felt something different. He was captivated by his brother. Seeing his brother willingly submit to him today, Taegan is very satisfied. You were amazing today. From now on, you're in charge of all my happiness. Li Shang hates that he compromised. Only he knows how hard it's been to get where he is today. How can he let that lazy brat take it all? With his excellence and years of connections. When the old man retires, I'll definitely have the better chance. Ever since that unspeakable night, Li Shang only talks to Taegan with the back of his head. Taegan just laughs confidently and says, soon enough, you'll come running to me on your own. Sure enough, the next day disaster strikes. The acquisition plan that was a sure thing fell through. Li Shang is shocked and blames himself. It's his fault for thinking about fighting with little brother all the time late. If dad finds out I was too slow, you can imagine what will happen. When the old man finds out, he of course mocks him. Can't the company run properly when I'm not there? Li Shang breaks into a cold sweat. He's apologizing. Taegan speaks up at the right time. No matter how much it costs, let's just do it. We're not short on cash. The old man laughs heartily. That's my good son. When doing business, you have to think long term. Even hard work can't beat blood ties. Li Xiang is furious to the extreme. On a dark night, he silently enters Taegan's room. If only I was the only one here. Big brother wanted to control little brother, but little brother controlled him instead. It's all driven by desire. Big brother, to get the inheritance, compromises with little brother again and again, only to fail again and again. So on a dark and stormy night, Li Xiang sneaks into Taegan's room. The moment his hands wrap around little brother's neck, he hears, you finally came. Just as he's about to pull back, little brother grabs his hands. Every time you're unhappy, you come strangle me. That's not a good habit. But why can't you ever follow through? I really look forward to you strangling me with all your strength. I'd enjoy the process. A bookworm who only knows how to study every day just doesn't have the strength. Since we were kids, you've been like a little bee I play with. The way you work so hard and keep struggling is so cute. You don't know your place and keep climbing. You think you can take my spot, like a cuckoo pushing out a tit and taking over the nest. You need to understand your place. This is an eagle's nest. Our father, how he took down his brothers to become the heir. And that mistress who couldn't even have kids but eventually took down the legitimate wife and became Mang. So an eagle's child is naturally also an eagle. But you know what? I've had everything since I was born, and my goals are different from my parents. Every day is boring. Only when I see you come home, see your cold, ruthless eyes, does my heart race out of control. Do you understand what I mean? As long as you satisfy my demands, I can give you the CEO position. I'll give you as many as you want. Li Xiang thinks Taegan is talking nonsense, but then thinks it won't hurt to hear what he wants. So he asks Taegan what exactly he wants. My memory is really bad. Didn't I say it before? I want you to personally DIY, make me an heir. Li Xiang grits his teeth. After everything he sacrificed for the CEO position, he still can't beat a biological son. Li Xiang thinks for 0.01 seconds and makes a major decision. It's just a DIY hair, right? Little brother demands big brother make an heir. But little brother isn't satisfied. He thinks big brother is playing house like a kid. If big brother doesn't show what he's got, I'ma just Hello Kitty to you. Next second, little brother is stunned. That's the effect he wanted. After the game ends, Taegan says he'll talk to dad. But you don't really think dad will listen to me, do you? You're too naive. I don't think you're qualified to sit in that position. Taegan wants to say more but then feels something cold on the back of his head. His brother just cracked his skull open. Seeing his brother in tears, Taegan shows a satisfied smile. I've always wanted to see you like this. Seeing Taegan lying on the ground, Li Xiang feels a fear he's never felt before. How can he explain this to dad? All these years of effort are finished. But then little brother raises a trembling hand and calls out, and hugs him tightly with all his strength. After whispering a few words, Li Xiang actually shows a long-lost smile. Finally, he gently lays the unconscious Taegan on the ground. When Taegan opens his eyes again, he finds himself lying in a hospital bed. He turns his head and sees the figure he's been thinking about for 20 years. Taegan softly calls out. Li Xiang turns around and sees Taegan grinning despite the pain. His head buzzing, he asks what time it is. Li Xiang walks to little brother's bed according to your plan, targeting a Chaebol family robbery merchant. The cleanup is fine, it's just that after you collapse, all kinds of speculative news caused the group's stock price to drop. So the heir issue won't be discussed for now. But what were you thinking? Taegan's lips curl into a satisfied smile. You want to know. Next second, he grabs Li Xiang's tie, pulls him close and steals a kiss. Then, looking at his brother's handsome face, he says, my life's pleasure is different from everyone else's. Only you can give me the happiness I want. As long as your eyes are on me, I'll give you everything you want based on your actions. Li Xiang thinks his little brother has really lost him. But next second, he shows a wicked smile. I won't lose to a spoiled brat who only eats. Taegan's face also shows a satisfied smile. I'm really looking forward to it.